How to read Kundli. This video is going to be a short, crisp and a very nice video that will explain you how can you read Kundli. So without wasting your time, let's go ahead, but I just request you to please subscribe my channel and to please like this video and let me know your views and comments so that I can improve my videos for the future. So guys, when we talk about Kundli, what is a Kundli? Kundli is basically the representation of the planetary movements during a person's life. The person under consideration is called as the native, and as per the position and the placement of the planets, different types of charts can be drawn. Those are nothing but different types of kundlis. So when the person is born, what was the position of the planets at that time is known as the birth chart, or is also known as the Lagna chart. Similarly, they can be the moon chart, they can be the Navamsa chart, there can be multiple such charts. But for a beginner, for to understand the basics, the Lagna chart or the birth chart is the beginning. So a person's life is divided into 12 houses, and each of the house represents something. The first house as the number one, this shows the start of the life. When a person takes birth, and what will be the personality of the person, how will that person look like, what will be the facial appearance, what will be the physical characteristics, what will be the overall personality. And that's how all these different planets signify some things. And this 12th planet, that is the end of life. 1, the rise of life. 12, the end of life. Now we know that there are 12 houses. Now we need to understand the placements of the 9 planets. When we have placed the 9 planets in somewhere, then we can see what is the impact that planet is going to have on the native's life. Like for example, if a person has sun in his first house, the first is the ascendant, is the rise, is what will determine the person's personality. So if sun, which is the king, is in the first house, that will mean that the person will have a dominant nature. But that dominant nature may make a person quite rude, arrogant, full of arrogance. It's quite possible, it's a sun. But what the real problem comes where when the sun is accompanied by somewhere Rahu in a malefic or a negative position, which makes that king without a kingdom, and that's from where the frustration starts. The person has to live like a king because he has sun in the first house, but he cannot live like a son because he doesn't have a kingdom. I have made a fabulous video on Sun and Rahu conjunction in the first house. Do have a look. Next, what happens when Mercury is in the first house? Well, Mercury in the first house represents the flow of communication. The person likes to talk. The person's overall personality will be talkative, and the person will have interest in things which demand speaking, like politics, like astrology, like consulting. So, that will be the dominant nature of the person. People with sun have arrogance, they are generally angry, they are hot heads, and they have a dominance nature. People like Mercury, they like to flow, they like to have communicative ideas, they are more or less ideological, and they have a vision. Similarly, we can discuss all the different movements where the planets are placed. Like for instance, when the Venus is in the 12th house, we know that the 12th house is of the end of the astrological life, and when Venus is in the end of the life, Venus being the planet of love and the planet of marriage, when Venus is in the 12th house, the person will have definitely have problems in his marriage. That may include late marriage, that may include no marriage, that may include lots of problems after marriage. But this is an oversimplification of how different patterns can be discussed. We need to understand the degree of the planet. Where in the chart the planet has been situated, what is the movement of the planet? Is it going in a clockwise manner? It is revisit revolving in an anti-clockwise manner. Then we need to determine the conjunctions, like I just talked about Sun and Rahu. Let me give you an example. The fourth house. It said that Rahu in this house has comfortable position and may bless the native, while Rahu in the first house may turn a person into a frustrated man because he wants to achieve things, but Rahu will not get him achieve those things. This rises his frustration and he ultimately starts having frustration attacks. The next thing we need to know about is the triangles. The 159, the famous triangle. We need to see what planets have positions in the triangular movement. The 159 conjunction is used to know whether you will get a government job or not. People appear for civil servants. They come to me, they ask me, do I have any scope for clearing this exam? I look at the 159 trijunction, I look for their conjunction in planet 1, planet 4, planet 8, planet 11. I get to see if I see favorable signs, I say, just prepare hard, you'll clear it. I see that Sun and Rahu is here. I see that the Mars is not good. I see that the Jupiter is not well placed. I see that the Ketu is having negative influence. I see no matter how much effort you will put in, you will not clear your civil service exam. That's how the astrological movements work. So guys, in this video I taught you that first you need to draw the 12 houses. There are hundreds of softwares on the internet that can give you this kundli. You just need to enter the date of birth, the place of birth and the time of birth, the DPT formula. It will give you a chart like this and thereafter you can draw the conclusions. So I think I have given you quite a lot of basics and you must already feel like you are an astrologer. Keep watching my videos and I will definitely make you a professional astrologer. Alright? Please talk to me in the comment section. Do like my videos. See you very soon.